introducing first, boxing out of the challenger, wearing green and red and weighing in, ready, 149.5 pounds. His outstanding record, 14 victories, only 1 defeat, but 10 big wins, coming down to the outcome. Here's the corner, New England champion, Melrose, Massachusetts, Silveira. Across the ring to my right, boxing out of the blue corner, the defending champion, wearing silver black trunks, weighing in 152 pounds. His outstanding record, 16 victories, only 2 defeats from one round, 10 big wins by way of knockout. He's weighing in defending New England Junior Middleweight champion, from Massachusetts,
A raucous crowd on hand within this capacity crowd in Melrose, Massachusetts, as it is time for our main event of the evening. 8 rounds of boxing for the New England Junior Middleweight Championship. Defending champion Greg Vendetti puts his title on the line against Derek Silveira. Vendetti wearing the black trunks, Silveira wearing the half-green, half-red trunks. Vendetti enters his fight with a record of 16 wins against 2 losses and 1 draw, 10 of his 16 wins by way of KO. Derek Silveira, the former New England welterweight champion, enters this fight with a record of 13-1 against 7 KOs. His lone defeat, a majority decision loss to Danny O'Connor a few years back in front of a raucous crowd at the TD Garden in Boston. It might not be as big as a TD Garden, but we've got a crowd just as raucous and excited here in Melrose, Massachusetts tonight. Greg Vendetti enters this fight with his confidence sky high, coming off 2 big wins on the New England boxing circuit. He had a title defense win over Kyrie Gray Pitts of Worcester, Massachusetts last year at Twin River that was seen in many circles as an upset. In his next fight, an 8-round unanimous decision where he won practically every round against Maine's Casey Kramlich. If you would have said 2 years ago to someone that 2 years from then, Greg Vendetti would be entering a New England Junior Middleweight Championship fight against Derek Silveira and be the favorite, they might think you were crazy, but that's exactly what we're seeing here right now. It seems that most observers think there's a 60-40 chance that Greg Vendetti will come out the winner. Derek Silveira says, I'm going to prove you wrong, and he stepped up to the plate. Now we're using a ring as we have chants of Derek coming from the crowd, and I think there may have been a clash of heads early on, but doesn't seem like Derek Silveira is affected as much as I originally thought he was. Tonight's fights are contested in a ring that is generally used in the Springfield Golden Gloves, and you might notice it's a rather small ring, probably 16 feet by 16 feet inside the ropes. And one would think that favors a pressure fighter like Greg Vendetti. However, I was told earlier that Derek Silveira says, I like that ring, as he lands a nice right hand against Greg Vendetti. And as we heard chants of Derek moments ago, don't for a moment think that there's not a lot of Greg Vendetti fans in the house. This place is split 50-50 for folks for who they want to win. Both men have tremendous fan bases. Closing seconds of round number 1 and a spirited opening round between Silveira and Vendetti here in Melrose. The mark of good matchmaking has seen itself early on here in round 1 as ringside observers are disputing amongst themselves who won round 1. Close nevertheless, as neither men did anything too significant to really punctuate the round as theirs. Round 2 of 8. Both of these men entered this fight in tremendous shape. Both men were well under the junior middleweight limit of 154 pounds for what it's worth. Mentioned earlier that Derek Silveira, a former New England welterweight champion, when he lost that title to Danny O'Connor, I have to say, it was one of the best performances of Derek Silveira's career. He was just in against a incredibly talented fighter in Danny O'Connor, but I was impressed the way Derek Silveira fought that night despite the fact he took the loss. Also, has some of my favorite knockouts in recent years for New England boxing. His knockouts of Shaka Moore and William Correa. One shot, brutal. Particularly the Correa one. Did I see a right hand land from Vendetti that I think caught the attention of Derek Silveira? Good work by Greg Vendetti. I could perhaps be reading too much into this, but a subtle change in body language for Derek Silveira here in round 2 as Greg Vendetti puts on the pressure. Greg Vendetti with Silveira up against the ropes. Silveira fighting off against the ropes. Crowd in Melrose going insane. And now it's Silveira with Vendetti cornered. There seemed to be some dispute after round 1 amongst educated ringside observers as to who won round 1. I gave the nod to Vendetti. I also gave round 2 to Vendetti. But man, is this exciting thus far. 3 of a scheduled 8 New England Junior Middleweight Championship at stake. Defending champion Greg Vendetti in the black. Challenger Derek Silveira with the half green, half red trunks. This is a north of Boston super fight, if there ever was such a thing. Derek Silveira bouncing on his toes mid-ring. Complains to referee Mike Ryan of a shot which he fields straight behind his head from Vendetti. Nice left hand by the villain Vendetti. This crowd is making themselves the rhythm section of the music that is this fight. Round 3 concludes. Derek Silveira becoming the aggressor to some degree here in round 4. There was a hooking left uppercut from Vendetti that caught the face of Silveira moments ago. We're midway done here in Melrose. Round 5. I have Vendetti ahead on my scorecard, but Derek Silveira has been game. I would venture and say most observers either have this 4-0 Vendetti or 3-1 for Vendetti. And Vendetti, I don't know what referee Mike Ryan's doing. He was cleaning off the gloves of Silveira, but no knockdown was ruled. It looked like he was just staggered. Crowd is going crazy. Nice work upstairs from Vendetti. Silveira shakes it off, but I think he's feeling the effect of this Greg Vendetti pressure. Timekeeper Tom Clark tells us there's 10 seconds left to go in round number 5. Both men off their stools before they even blow the whistle for the seconds to leave the ring for round number 6. This fight isn't just anticipated by the fans, it's anticipated by the fighters as well midway in the fight. And Silveira hits the canvas, but ruled a slip by referee Mike Ryan, I believe correctly so. I think a right hand stunned Silveira. Left hand upstairs from Vendetti gets his attention. Silveira coming back swinging, however. No quitting him. Oh, they're trading shots. This is exciting stuff, folks. Closing seconds of round 6. Another slip ruled by Mike Ryan as Silveira's glove touched the floor. We've got 2 more rounds to go between these two warriors here in Melrose. Greg Vendetti charges out at the beginning of the round, right at Derek Silveira. Nice right hand upstairs by Silveira. And another time Mike Ryan cleans off the gloves of Silveira. No knockdown scored, however. Chants of Vendetti, Vendetti go throughout the arena now. We heard Derek, Derek, Derek earlier in the fight. Sometimes you got to let the atmosphere in an event speak for itself. So after 7 rounds of boxing, I believe this fight is close, but I have Greg Vendetti ahead. Let me amend that. I have Vendetti ahead, but there have been close rounds. With this being a scheduled 8th rounder, I would anticipate both of these men give each other 3 minutes of hell as soon as the bell rings to sound the beginning of round 8. And I think the crowd here in Melrose might blow the roof off this joint. Like I said, I have Vendetti ahead, but if you're Greg Vendetti in his corner, I don't think you can be too sure. Round 8 begins, final round. Dueling chants from the crowd. Derek Silveira boxing on his toes. They begin to open up. Silveira his gloves have touched the canvas a lot tonight, but no knockdown has been scored. It's always been ruled a slip, and in most cases, I think maybe all cases, that's been the reason, but doesn't speak well of his body language. The Derek Silveira fan base coming alive. Closing seconds of the fight. And Greg Vendetti and Derek Silveira trade in the final seconds of the fight as they go all 8 rounds. Great effort from both fighters. Fantastic crowd here in Melrose. And we've got a close decision on our hands. We'll see how the official ringside scores have it in a matter of moments. As the crowd here in Melrose is standing on its feet in anticipation now of the reading of the scorecards from ring announcer John Vina.
for making such a great night. It was a privilege and an honor to let that fight. On behalf of Murphy's Boxing, I want to say that we'd like to give both fighters $1,000 bonus for putting on that show. They deserve it. True fucking warriors. God bless them both.
A unanimous decision win for Greg Vendetti. Both fighters with a great performance. And an extra $1,000 for each fighter for their efforts tonight from promoter Ken Casey.